Speaking of video games, let's move over to topic two. A couple episodes ago, we talked about my gap in movies and lack of knowledge on IMDb's top 100 movies, fan rated, whatever the hell it was. And I didn't do as bad as I thought I was going to. I think I had 1 in 5, if you break it down fraction wise, that I had seen. Well, thinking of that topic, I thought let's do that with video games. So I have pulled up from IGN the top 100 games of all time. This list was updated as of recording May 20th, 2022, so that's good that it was updated then. And your criteria for this list, because it's not, well, I'll just read it. IGN's top 100 list game lists encompasses the best of the best throughout history, spanning generations of consoles, PCs, handhelds, and more. Our list last saw a major update back in 2019. Now it's updated 22. And since then, there have been several games released that deserve to be added. Just as importantly, we looked at the totality of the top 100 as it stood and asked ourselves a few key questions. This led to some beloved games dropping off and other games we previously missed being added. Games in our top 100 have to measure up to a few key metrics. How great a game it was when launched, how fun is it still to play today, and how much the game reflects the best in its class. While past versions of this list have put a big emphasis on the game's impact and influence, we've essentially taken that out of the equation. Many games that left a mark and inspired future developers may not stand the test of time and be all that fun to play right now, or quite simply, they may have been surpassed by other games. With all that said, IGN's list reflects the current staff's 100 best games of all time, a collection of games that continue to captivate us with their stories, wow us with their revelatory, yeah, I read that right, approach to game design, and set the standards for the rest of the industry. This is why I don't read. Industry. Sorry, everybody. So there's your kind of headspace for what this list is going to kind of include and the thinking the IGN team has behind it. Before we get to this list, same as the IMDb movie list, we're going to take this 10 at a time. I'll keep a tally of what I have played and talk about those things. But just so you guys know how I started with gaming, I think I've talked about this before, but I was not on board with video games right at the beginning. And what I mean by that is my first consoles were the Game Boy Advance and the PlayStation 2. I got my Game Boy Advance from my aunt and uncle, who I don't know if it was at the launch of that, but it was during the time period where I was moving from one house to the next house. And they were kind enough to get that for me. I assume it was around my birthday, but they got that for me. And that was, I would say, my first big experience video game wise. I had played video games through family members and friends, whether it was the N64, the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Original, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and maybe even the SNES. But personally, I never owned my own console. So Game Boy Advance was my first one. And then a little bit later on, we got a PlayStation 2. We did have a PC as well. There were a few things I played on there. I remember playing like Math Blaster. That was a lot of fun. And, oh crap, what was the game? It was a Lego game. Lego Island 2, I believe. There were some other ones, SimCity and like Sega Genesis Collection and some other things of that nature. Warcraft. But as for consoles, Game Boy Advance and PlayStation 2 are my first ones. So I don't have a lot of experience other than, like I said, friends and family of N64. GameCube I didn't have, and Xbox I didn't have until way later. The NES, the SNES, Sega Genesis, I think I played only VR Troopers on, and I got my ass whooped all the time by my neighbors. Yeah, so earlier stuff, there's a lacking there. I already mentioned GameCube and Xbox, that kind of generation too. I was only on PlayStation 2, and even PS2 I wouldn't say, at least for my age demographic, like I was playing a certain genre of games. I know there's a lot of JRPGs that are fantastic on PS2. Those I have not played. Metal Gear games on PlayStation 1, yep, that's a miss too. So my real focus in games starts at those, goes through this Xbox 360 era, into the Xbox One, over to the PlayStation 3, the PS4, and now into the PS5. So it's all over the place. I've played also some Nintendo consoles since there. Had a Nintendo Wii, the Wii U. We know how successful that one was. Nintendo Switch here and there, but haven't dove headfirst too deep into the Nintendo systems, or obviously the systems I didn't have at the time. So, you know a little bit about where I came from gaming wise. Let's see where we rank in this top 100 list. So, starting at 100, so 100 to 91, we have Borderlands 2, Divinity Original Sin 2, Final Fantasy 7, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, Burnout 3 Takedown, Fallout 2, League of Legends, Mega Man 3, and Animal Crossing New Horizons. Okay, so decent start, not a great start. Played Borderlands 2. I'm not going to call FF7. I didn't play Black Flag. I have it, but I haven't played it. And Animal Crossing's New Horizon. Whoop! Okay, so 2 out of those. Borderlands 2, fantastic. It's definitely... I don't know if it's just me now. The Borderlands games going back to and playing has been a little bit rough for me. When they first came out, Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 were really, really good. Borderlands 1 was fun in its gameplay. First-person shooter, go around, do these missions, collect the guns, upgrade your characters with the skill trees and their different abilities that they do have. Roland with his turret, and was it Zero? No, it was Mordecai with his bird, Lilith with her siren abilities, and Brick just punching shit. It was fun. It was something that my cousin Charlie and I would play with, or play together from time to time. It was a good time. And then Borderlands 2 came out and really flipped Borderlands on its head, but in the best way possible. The gameplay was still great. The open world and environments was still great, and the creatures that you were fighting. But Borderlands 2 really took the gameplay elements and then kind of realized what kind of environment it was and the characters it had, and went full balls to the wall. Not comedy, like there were funny elements in it, but really invested in their characters to make them interesting and appealing, and the story that they had would have Handsome Jack as the villain in there. Borderlands 2 was great. You had a new set of characters that you were hanging out with. You had Salvador with his double gun ability, so he could dual wield. You had Zero, the ninja, who could go invisible and take out people really, really quick with his sword. You had Maya as another siren, but her siren abilities were slightly different. And then you also had Axton, I think it was, who was another turret user. But the characters were great. Handsome Jack, like I said, as a villain was fantastic. And playing that one really kind of showed how Borderlands 1 was a bit rough. Like going back from 2 to 1, gameplay wise still great, but it felt like such a drag, and like the story was there, but it wasn't interesting enough. And I've mentioned going back to 2 now. Maybe it's just me. Gameplay wise, something is not clicking, because I've tried playing Borderlands 3. I've tried playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which came out more recently, and it's fine. Just for me, something is kind of missing. It doesn't seem as fun as it once was. But at the time, when Borderlands 2 did come out, boy howdy, fantastic. Really good there. Final Fantasy 7. Let's talk about this for a second, because this is definitely a big gap, at least I feel, in my gameplay knowledge. Everybody and their mom in the JRPG world, loves FF7. It's like the poster child of Final Fantasy. I know you got your fans of FF8, your FF9, FFX. Shout out to that. Played that on PS2, but not very long. Final Fantasy VII was one that I played maybe an hour of as a kid and did not give it the respect that it deserves. Because in my dumb young age, obviously Final Fantasy VII from the PS1 era, if you don't know, me as a kid putting this in my console and seeing Cloud with his giant buff pixel arms walking around, I just go, this looks bad. This looks aged. This looks dumb. I'm not playing it anymore. I have my PS2 graphics. I was all high and mighty. Oof. Played it for an hour. Shout out to Matt Olivo giving me the game, allowing me the chance to play it. I tried it. I didn't give it a chance and the respect it deserved and pushed it away. Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out a few years ago. I play it on PS4. Game looks fantastic. They change up the gameplay elements a little bit more. It's not turn-based. It's more action-adventure, I guess you could say, or real-time action, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's great. It's fun. It looks great. I just said great a bunch of times. This food is good. This food is bad. I'm a great food critic. Shut up, Peanut Gallery. It's a fun game. I got through about half of it. And then what did my dumb gamer brain do? Here's the next new shiny object. I haven't gone back to it and played it. And I apologize to Bret because we were supposed to have a Final Fantasy VII follow-up topic like ages ago. Ooh, boy. I want to go back and play, obviously, Remake. They have changed some stuff from the original game. And I would like to go back and play the original FF7 now as a adult and maybe a little bit more mature than I was. Give that a better chance. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Heard amazing things about it. People love the ship combat. Assassin's Creed was kind of hit or miss with me. I was definitely really into 1, really into 2. Brotherhood was fantastic. Revelations, it took me a little while to get through. 3, I loved the... what's the word? The time era that they were in Revolutionary War, but the intro took a while. So at that point when 4 came out, I was burnt out. Haven't gone back to it. I don't think I'll go back to it, but I've heard great things there. Fallout 2 never played. League of Legends never played. Mega Man was always too difficult for me. And then Animal Crossing's New Horizons on Nintendo Switch. This was our pandemic game. Remember COVID and everybody hopping in their houses and not leaving? Yeah, this was one that sucked up a lot of time and a lot of hours being played there. I think we talked about it on the podcast at this point a few years ago, so you can check that out. But great game, especially as my first Animal Crossing. Really fun. Took a little while with the time mechanics early on when you wanted to progress the story, but you couldn't because you had to wait till the next real-time day to unlock buildings and stuff like that. But once the training wheels were taken off and you were able to do your thing, I had a blast with that game. Very, very good. 90 to 81. We have Thief 2, The Metal Age, SimCity 2000, Inside, Titanfall 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 2 Remake, System Shock 2, Mortal Kombat 11, and Persona 5 Royale. Alright, we've got a couple more here that I can mark down. So SimCity is a go. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is a go. Monster Hunter World is a go. RE2 Remake is a go. Mortal Kombat 11. And that is it. Maybe one. Rats for Papa Griff. Okay. Alright, so SimCity 2000. This is one of the PC games that I had kind of in that beginning game phase. A lot of fun with it. Didn't understand anything as a kid, really. I know you kind of plop down the different areas. Like you had the residential area was like the green that you would map out, and then you had your commercial stuff was blue, and then industrial was the yellow. And I remember laying that all out and then trying to understand as a kid, like, oh, they all need water, and then, oh, they all need electricity. So I would build electric, what are those things called? Like the posts of electricity. I'm being stupid. As a kid, I would build one on every single square thinking, oh, they all need power. They're not connected to each other. They all need their own individual source. Did the same thing with the piping for the water. And then you'd finally get that settled. And then you slowly see them building. And you're like, yes, okay, I'm doing something. And then eventually you get bigger buildings, and you invest in schools and the cops and the fire department, and oh, you need this building here. And then it was fun. It was fine. But then you get these incidents where it was a sandbox, so you could trigger it yourself, but oh, a tornado's coming through. Oh my God, an alien invasion. You would set that off for some reason and then just come in and just watch the chaos. Watch it burn. It was a fun time. Maybe I would do better from a gameplay standpoint as an adult, maybe knowing a little bit better, but as a kid, it was fun. It was a good time, a good chuckle here and there. Nothing I got super deep into, but I would play it from time to time. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. This was another one that I never personally owned, but I do remember playing a lot at my neighbors' houses growing up once we had finally made the move and the transition. Really just a fun game, not knowing too much about, like, obviously skateboarding and Tony Hawk. Just a fun time going around, attempting to do tricks, falling on your face. Music was great. They've made the remake or the remaster since then, and that is phenomenal. Has all the nostalgia in the world of the original. Obviously, just spruced up the graphics and made things run a little bit smoother. Still the same challenges. Still all the fun secrets and surprises you could find and discover throughout that game. Yeah, just amazing. All right, Monster Hunter World. So this was on PlayStation 4, Xbox One. My first Monster Hunter. And essentially this is a loot-focused game where you pick your class, you pick your weapons, you're highly customizable there, and you go out and you're hunting these monsters, these beasts. Duh, Monster Hunter, who would have thought? And it's essentially a grind of gathering resources from different animals. You need so many hides, you need feathers, you need the talons, you need this, that, the other thing. And it's just this progression of better and better loot that you're trying to acquire. And it's a very rinse-repeat cycle, which I know a lot of games are. For me, wasn't super fun. There was a multiplayer aspect of this game that maybe if I had partaken in a little bit more, maybe it would have been a little bit more rewarding for me personally. Early on, I did play multiplayer. Shout out to Nolan. Him and I played that a few times online. Even sometimes in the same room, just on our own setups. Was fun for a while. Just that rinse repeat kind of lost me after some time. But glad I got to experience Monster Hunter World. It was fun to dive into. But yeah, it was just very grind heavy. And yeah, replay. RE2 Remake. Played this on stream. Not a big Resident Evil fan in general before this game. I think RE7 was my first Resident Evil experience that I really got behind. Watching Maximilian and friends go through this game, whether it was VR or the regular playthrough. RE2 came out after that. And this was a fun way to discover, obviously, the history of Resident Evil. Go back, play it with the upped graphics, with the slight changes here and there. For me, great experience. Very terrifying, especially when running into the liquor zombies or Mr. X chasing your ass down. Brother, tried streaming this. Mr. X got frustrating. Finally gave it another try, another go. Was able to finally get over that gap of him showing up. Fun time there. I've actually thought about replaying it recently and going back to it, but really happy with Capcom making these remakes, RE2, RE3, and now RE4, and diving into the Resident Evil universe, since I have missed that with being early PlayStation 1 era, along into 2, and me kind of not being into horror. These have been fun to go back into for a little bit of spook here and there with like a 7 and an 8, and 2 for sure, and just kind of filling that gap in knowledge with the remasters, the remakes, instead of buying a PS1 and then RE this and then oof, doesn't run great. This has been nice to have it to go back to an experience. And then Mortal Kombat 11 is the last one, at least for me, on this next chunk that I have played. Mortal Kombat 11 is fantastic story-wise. Is it a fun game to play otherwise? It's 50-50. It can be fun, but it's not so much different, but it feels different from the superior gameplay of a Mortal Kombat X, 10, whatever you want to call it. That one felt a lot more satisfying to play. And I've talked about this also on the podcast technically, so you can go back and check that one out. The big thing with me, hang-up-wise, between an 11 and a 10 was its tower systems. Towers in 10 were a blast to play. Obviously, a lot of rinse and repeat. It's a fighting game. Duh. What are you going to do? You're going to fight. But something they try and do to keep it interesting is your modifiers. So there's different things in each tower that modify the gameplay. Maybe you can call an assist. Maybe every time you jump, you take damage. Maybe some other thing. In Mortal Kombat 10, they were there, but they weren't always present. Mortal Kombat 11 felt like almost every tower had some modifier ingrained to it, and it just was too much. It was too much. 10 felt great. Injustice 2, which I know is a different franchise, but same NetherRealm studio, their towers felt more fun to play with, while this felt like almost unfair at times. I remember one early tower that I had, the opponent would not go invisible, but the screen would go black at random intervals, and you would just have to somehow figure out where they are and fight them. To Mortal Kombat 11's credit, the story, like I said, was phenomenal. Fantastic story, building off of what Mortal Kombat 10 was, and introducing this time travel mechanic, so you got to see old versions of the characters face off against their current day versions of the characters, seeing the blend there, and also the crypt. The crypt was the biggest love letter to Mortal Kombat fans that they have ever made. The crypt was essentially, if you don't know what it is, it's an area where you can essentially unlock things in the game. Different fatalities, different costumes, different arenas, different loading bars, loading screens, little icons for your online character. And in Mortal Kombat 10, their crypt was good, where you would explore this like frozen tundra. There was a spider cave area, which made me shit my pants all the time because it was terrifying. There was a lava world. But in Mortal Kombat 11, they fused the movie into it. So you would go to Shang Tsung's island from the film, and you'd go there, you see these big statues of all the fighters, and then you'd go in and there was the dining room area from the movie with different references, and like, oh, there's Goro there sitting, but his body's decomposed or whatever, and Kano's there, and all these different shout outs and different things, and it was beautiful. It was stunning to go through. The references, the challenges that you had, the puzzles you figured out to get into different rooms. Great time there. They put a lot of TLC into 11. Unfortunately, just gameplay wise, for me, wasn't the most fun, and was hoping for a little bit more there. Lastly, before we move on to the next set, Persona 5 Royale. This is one on the backlog. A lot of people have talked very highly of Persona 5. I've tried, obviously, a little bit of 3 and 4, and it hasn't fully clicked with me. I'm looking forward to trying 5, especially its Royale edition, which includes like all these changes and additions from the Japanese side of things into this. Looking forward to trying it out. All right, 80 to 71, we have Dark Souls, Fortnite, Fable 2, GoldenEye 007, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Spelunky 2, The Return of the Obra Dinn, Dota 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Donkey Kong. I guess just the original Donkey Kong. So out of this section, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, 5 and 10, not bad. Alright. Nothing calling out to me super much here. Fortnite, Lady and I have played a shit ton of Fortnite. It's no secret there. We've been playing a lot of it. It's fun. We never thought we'd fall in love with it, but we have. Fortnite. GoldenEye 007 played a little bit, once again, through friends' houses, and that was a blast. I remember Papa Griff and I and some of my cousins going down to North Carolina playing that on their N64, just being, as a kid, not knowing too much what was going on, but I remember the blood going down the screen when he did die. It was fun. Good memories there. Smash Bros. Ultimate. Everybody's here. Beautiful roster. A lot of fun, obviously, with the announcements of the DLC characters that were being added along the way. The World of Light story mode, not the greatest, but it's okay. Yeah, just fun. It's going to be interesting to see where the Smash Bros. Franchise goes from here, especially with Ultimate obviously being everyone that was in any previous game being included, being involved. I highly doubt that's going to happen again. Yeah, only time will tell. Spelunky 2, as hard as Spelunky 1. Fun to watch. Haven't played a lot. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart is just fun. I don't know what else to say there. A little bit weird that they haven't made a Mario Kart 9 yet, but they are now adding a shit ton of maps to Mario Kart 8, which has been out forever at this point. So at least it's getting some TLC now. Just odd that they haven't done anything with it since it originally launched. Who knows? Donkey Kong I didn't count. I've probably played it once at least in an arcade, but jumping over some barrels, right? Moving on, 70 to 61. We have The Sims 3, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Silent Hill 2, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, XCOM 2, Control, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Batman Arkham City. Alright, so out of this list, or this chunk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 5. Alright. Doing good so far. We're doing good. Sims 3. More chaos, more Sims. Good times. Super Mario World 2 I haven't played, but Super Mario World 1, GBA, Game Boy Advance, played the shit out of that game. So much fun. Once again, discovering the secrets, different paths, shortcuts in that game. Especially with the little cape power and the feather. Dip, diving, ducking all around. Good times there. GTA San Andreas, my first GTA. I remember playing this, or seeing my cousins play it, when staying at their house originally. And then eventually, my parents trusted me enough to have it myself. It ended up just kind of being this sandbox game for me. Driving around, obviously go real fast, go pew pew pew, shoot everything, make it blow up. It was a fun time. Obviously that continued into GTA 4, into GTA 5. Just fun, pure chaos. That was really all it was. I do remember playing the story of GTA San Andreas. Don't remember too much about it, just CJ and his journey. I do want to shout out the multiplayer that they did have. I do remember once again Charlie and I attempted to playing that, and it was fun. However, not split screen, so you could only go so far. Or was it split screen? Maybe it was. It had to be split screen. Because there was no way you would be able to shoot. Okay, it was split screen, but you couldn't go super far from each other, I feel. Because I do remember, I don't feel like it was a rubber band effect. But there got to a point where there was a barrier between you, almost like two magnets, where they were trying to pull you together. Good times there. I remember all the cheats. We printed out a packet of cheats to get all the weapons, to raise your wanted level, to get a jetpack unlocked, to get different vehicles, and always referring to that and freaking out like because there was the health cheat. Oh my God, we're gonna die! No, you typed it wrong! Just freaking out over that. A lot of fun. Good times there. Control I haven't played. I know Jeff Reg was streaming it a few years ago. He loved it. I know a lot of people love this game. Not one I connected with, but maybe that's because I didn't know too much about the story that was going on. I don't know if I'll ever get to that one. Call of Duty 4, another one that was good, not great. I played, not great to me. It was good. I remember the story, but Modern Warfare 2 was the one that I kind of fully dove into, especially with the online play. Once again, Charlie and I playing that hours and hours on end. But I do remember Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4. Good times there. Rise of the Tomb Raider, a great reboot for the Tomb Raider series, especially someone who hasn't played any of the original Tomb Raiders. This was a great iteration. It's the first one of that. Or is this the sequel? Hold on. Well, the Tomb Raider reboot in 2013 kicked off a new direct... Rise of the Tomb Raider took it and ran a mile. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I have not played this one. This is the sequel to the reboot. Okay. So, the original of this reboot, fantastic, chef's kiss. This one says it's better than that one, so that's a good sign. And then we got Arkham City. I was so anticipating this game big time in college. I absorbed everything that was coming out on that. Artwork, demos, clips, everything. When it finally dropped, played the crap out of this game and beat it in a weekend. And not gonna lie, little let down. Just for the game length. But other than that, the story was fantastic. The characters were great. Still a blast to go back to. Another series I've been thinking about replaying. City was fantastic. I know a lot of people put this at the top of their Arkham out of the 4 games. I'm conflicted. I would either put City up at first or Night at first. And I know some people have some issues with Night because of the tank combat. But I really like Night, and maybe it's me being biased because recency biased. Oh, it's the newest one. Oh, it looks pretty. I like the tank combat. I like the villains that they have in there. Not that Arkham City's villains were bad, because they're great. I really liked Night. Story was great. A good wrap-up. A good conclusion to that story. Moving forward, I'm looking forward what Is it Arcane Studios? No, I'm sorry. Rocksteady. Looking forward to what Rocksteady has with their Suicide Squad game. Unfortunately, been delayed to 23. Looking forward to that. Really looking forward to Gotham Knights, which seems to be more, obviously, in the vein of the Arkham-style games, just a different company. Exciting to see what they can tell with their story and the Court of Owls storyline that they're going off of the comics. Just very excited. Okay, so right now I'm at 16. Here, let me do this. Scratch that all off. One line. Okay. 60 to 51. We have Dishonored 2, The Witness, Journey, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, Overwatch, Apex Legends, Hollow Knight, Miss Pac-Man, Counter-Strike 1.6, and Left 4 Dead 2. Alright, so I have added 4 to my list. Alright, haven't played Dishonored 2. Played a little bit of Dishonored 1. Was fun. Something is not clicking gameplay-wise. Like to try it again. Like to try 2. But that's my hang-up. Journey. Very late to Journey. in that PS3 release. I think I finally streamed it years and years after it came out. Short game, beautiful game. Very satisfying, very kind of low energy chill, except for a few instances when it gets a little bit stressful. Good time there, good solid indie game. Uncharted 2, I'm going to be honest. I don't remember much about Uncharted 2. I know everybody loves the Uncharted series. To me, they're decent. It's not a Last of Us scenario with me. I want to go... I like the Uncharted series a little bit more than I think I like Last of Us. But a lot of people that I know love the Uncharted games. I think they're fine. I don't remember too much about this one. And it's another series. When I have time, I'd like to go back and play through again. Overwatch and Apex. Oh boy. Lady, how do you feel about them? She doesn't care. Poof! Man, I love Overwatch. Man, I love Apex Legends. Shush. Overwatch, I'm looking forward to Overwatch 2. Put a lot of time into that, whether it was Xbox, PlayStation, or a slight middle time on PC. Looking forward to jumping back into that, playing games with Dio, Billy, John, Danny. Great time there. I want to play more Overwatch. I want to get back into it. I know Activision Blizzard is still dealing with their internal issues, so that's something. Bobby Kotick, get the fuck out. So that makes me a little tentative for 2, but as a game, memories-wise, Overwatch, fantastic. And Apex was fantastic as well. I know I've missed a few seasons. I do want to get back into it. It's just a matter of time. And that game is a shit ton of size and taking up space. But a lot of fun with Papa Griff. I'm glad, he's gotten into that and enjoyed it and playing with him. Playing with, I think Dio and Billy and I played early on in that game. Even just solo queuing. Good times. The characters are fun. The gameplay and mobility is great. Obviously, Fortnite has taken some mechanics from that game and added to itself or its own title. So some things obviously worked really, really well that weren't involved in the Battle Royale genre prior. Good stuff there. And then other than that, Hollow Knight, heard fantastic things, but sounds difficult. Haven't tried that out. This Pac-Man I'm not going to count, but I'm sure I've played that at an arcade or two. And then Left 4 Dead 2 I think I played once at a friend's house. Heard good things about the Left 4 Dead series. Don't shoot the witches or else your friends yell at you. 50 to 41. We have Earthbound, Diablo 2, StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Fallout New Vegas, Final Fantasy VI, Pokemon Yellow, Metroid Prime, and The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Okie dokie, now we get to start to see the gap. Let's see. I've played Diablo 3, but not 2. StarCraft I probably played once. World of Warcraft I played a little bit and was like, this isn't the Warcraft I like, and just got out of there. Knights of the Old Republic I've heard great stuff about as well. New Vegas I played, but not a bunch. 6 I haven't played. Pokemon Yellow was the one I definitely counted. Played a crap ton of that one. Holy moly, a lot of good memories there. Metroid Prime haven't touched. Haven't played a Metroid game. And then Skyrim I counted. I did put a few hours into that one. Fun game, good combat. I suck at it. Moving on to 40 to 31. New Vegas is great. Damn. All right, maybe I'll go back to it someday. 40 to 31. We have Resident Evil 4, Shadow of the Colossus, The Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption, Metal Gear Solid, Sid Meier's Civilization 4, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Minecraft, Halo Combat Evolved, and Half-Life. Okie dokie. Shadow of the Colossus. played the PS4 release of that game. I think the original was on PS2. Fine game. I remember yelling for my horse aggro a lot. I remember falling off giant, tall, magical creatures a lot. Story is about saving your waifu who's unconscious by tackling these giant beastie things, and you just climb on them and stab certain parts of their body who have these ruins on it. Fine game. Glad I experienced it. I think I don't need to re-experience it. It's fine. Last of Us 2 I haven't not played yet. Red Dead Redemption. Boy, howdy. How good was Red Dead Redemption 1? Fantastic. Don't know why I own this game originally. Don't know who gave it to me. Don't know how it became in my possession. Whoever did give it to me, who, if I passed Bret, bought it himself. Good on ya. Thank you for that. Fantastic story. Cowboys pew, 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 going around shooting people, having a great old time. Story campaign was great. The world was fantastic. The online was fantastic. A lot of good laughs shared there with me and Charlie. Seeing a zebra running around and then chasing after the zebra, but he's too fast. Hilarious. Have I played Red Dead 2? A little. I played a little bit of the intro, but I haven't fully dove into that one yet. I hope that one's just as good. It's on the backlog. Red Dead 1, man, that was great. Something special. Minecraft. A lot of hours in Minecraft too. I remember when Charlie and I, Charlie getting a lot of shout outs here. It's kind of some tie there between video games. When Charlie and I first really got into Minecraft, we could not put that game down. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 days where we started playing, I don't know, 6 or 7 p.m. and we did not stop playing until maybe 5 a.m. Insane how we were diving into this. I know, like, PC side of Minecraft is a whole different beast, a whole different side of things. Console wise, us on our 360s, we were having a good time. We were trying to figure out how to make torches. We thought redstone was how you make torches. We were dumb. Learning how to make houses, learning how to make all these intricate devices and make things work. Good time. I still remember our first world. I had this big giant lava moat around my place while he had this path of bricks up to his castle, structure, and fortress. He's gone on to really dive into Minecraft. He still plays to this day over on the Xbox One side of things. Has an amazing town, village, city that everybody needs to go see. It's on Instagram. I'll see if I can put a link in down below. Amazing. A lot of cool stuff, obviously, that you can do with Minecraft. I'd love to dive more into it on the PC side of things, jump into like a Pixelmon server, and yeah, just Minecraft. Something I never thought I would dive into and love that much, but wow, really, really good. Really, really good. 30 to 21. We have Final Fantasy 14, Doom, Tetris, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, Half-Life Alyx, God of War, Chrono Trigger, Portal, Street Fighter 2, and Super Mario Bros. Okay, now I gotta start looking into technicalities here. So, Final Fantasy XIV I did not add. I did play at the very early launch of this game on the PS3 side of things. Played with John and Stefan online. Good times. But after that free trial, I was out of there. Doom. Now, I don't know if this is the original Doom or if this is the 2016 re-release of Doom. It looks like it's the original, so I'm not going to count it. 2016 Doom, fantastic. Doom Eternal, forgettable, except for those hard enemies. Tetris I counted. Who doesn't love Tetris? Put the squares where they need to go, they go away. Am I great at it? Hell no. God of War. I assume this has to be 2018, but I don't see a label. I've played the original God of War 2. God of War also. So I'm going to count it. God of War. If we're talking the PS2 version of God of War, okay. If we're talking the 2018 version of God of War, which we are, because I see Atreus right here. He wasn't in the original. Fantastic. Go play this game. Also, speaking of, God of War Ragnarok spoilers are out there, so be careful, everybody. Go mute those words on Twitter. God of War 2018. Fantastic. Makes you care about Kratos. Gives him a personality. Makes you emotional. We get some callbacks to 1, 2, and 3. If you played those, great. The whole thing with Atreus is fantastic. I'm just going to leave it at that and not say any more. Go play God of War 2018. Portal. Orange box. Shouldn't be this good, but it is. Orange box, this weird packaging on the Xbox 360 side of things. You get Half-Life 2, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. What a weird trio of games to be packaged together. Never played Half-Life 2. Team Fortress 2 was fun. Online only, team-based shoot-'em-up thing. And then Portal. This hidden gem Portal. Wow. Great times. Great times in Portal. You have the story there, which is great. Obviously, they build on it in 2. Kind of makes your brain hurt a little bit with the puzzles that it has for you. Chef's kiss. Good times with Portal. Street Fighter 2 I didn't count, but I have played a little bit here and there. Very difficult compared to other ones. And then Super Mario Bros. Of course I counted it. Yeah. All right. 20 to 11. We have Undertale, Bloodborne, BioShock, The Last of Us, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Halo 2, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Hades, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Super Mario Bros. 3. Alright. Back up to the top. Undertale. Fun. Community. Not fun. People are really particular about that game, and I don't know why. It's like either the best thing since sliced bread, or it's an okay experience. I'm towards the okay experience side of things. It was fun. I like Sans. I like the story they told there. I did the Pacifist run. Played it on stream ages ago at this point. Good time. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Didn't fall in love with it. Yeah. Bloodborne. I didn't count it. I played it a few hours, including some stream, some off stream. Another one I need to go back to. This is obviously a Soulsborne. Hard as fuck. So there's that. I played it until I got, I think it was the Blood-Soaked Beast. I don't know if I beat him or didn't beat him. Yeah, that one's tough. That's a tough one. I love the setting of Bloodborne. That's a game I'd like to get back into and play just to experience that myself. I think I've watched most of the gameplay and playthrough thanks to Maximilian Dude, who loves Bloodborne. And seeing the crazy places that game does go just makes me more intrigued to play it. So I'm not going to count it, but eventually I'd like to, along with the rest of those games, or at least some of them. BioShock. Bingo. Bango. Bongos. Good game. Scary for me. Maybe not for everybody. Scary at times. Great game. The twists and turns that you take in that game with Rapture and how you experience things from your main character's point of view. Great. BioShock 2. A little bit dipped down. Still fun gameplay. Infinite. I thought was good. Story's a little bit lacking. But the environment and the world, thumbs up. Good stuff there. Okay, now time for everybody to hate me. Last of Us. I have played The Last of Us. Played it on stream. Years after it came out on PS3. I think I played the remaster on 4, or the re-release on 4. The circles and communities I was with online, this sounds like a weird relationship I was with, loved The Last of Us. The Kind of Funny family community loves Last of Us. So I play it. Obviously, it's got all these high regards to it. I play it, I experience it, and it's just fine to me. And I don't know if it's because, like, it was overhyped. Everybody's like, oh, this is the best game ever. If, like, because the bar was raised so high that after I experienced it, it just kind of landed in this low area because there was no way it was going to reach those experiences or those expectations. It was fine. The story was good. Gameplay was good. That was it. I'd like to go back to it. I know Last of Us Part 1, the remaster of this game with all pretty graphics and stuff like that for PS5 is coming out in September as of recording. I don't think I'm going to get that, but I do want to re-experience this one. And then I do want to play Last of Us 2. I know that's another very controversial game, it seems. But I do want to give these games their credit. I'm very excited and happy for the people who are stoked for, obviously the remake coming out in September, for the HBO series coming out down the road. People love it. That's great. I'm happy for you. This one was, as the kids say, mid for me. So, there's that. Witcher 3. Hi, I'm Bret. Open world games, I like them. For some reason, this one overloaded me. There's so many things in the opening. They're just like, on the map, like, go do this, go do that, go do that. Witcher 3 is one I need to get back into. I do like Geralt's character. I know nothing from Witcher 1 or Witcher 2, so I can't give you any backstory there. I haven't watched the Netflix series, so I don't know that. This game looked cool. I was overwhelmed. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say there. One I need to go back to, give it a fair shake. Something that maybe also overwhelmed me along with the map entities or, notifications. The monsters are like very particular into what they are weak against. Like, oh, put fire on your sword to do this thing, or this person is invulnerable to this thing. The whole little monster notebook thing, maybe that was something that kind of overwhelmed me. But Witcher 3, that's a gap. Halo 2 is amazing. I'll just say that. Hades, fantastic. We talked about roguelites and obviously topic 1. Hades took me by such a surprise how much I love that game. Easily 100 hours I've played that game. I want to play it again, which seems insane, but want to get that platinum. Might even want to do a fresh restart of that game. So much fun. You feel like you're so satisfied by the gameplay. Each run takes like 15 to 30 minutes depending, and it just doesn't, it's so good that it doesn't, I don't even know how to say this. It's so fun, but the time doesn't feel like it was wasted. I guess that's how it is. I don't know. I'll shut up now. Grand Theft Auto 5. Hey, good stuff. Switching between the 3 different characters was fun. GTA 5 Online, also fun. Super Mario 3. Overworld, good stuff. All right, let's go with the top 10, shall we? 10 to number 1. We have Disco Elysium, Half-Life 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Super Mario 64, Mass Effect 2, Super Metroid, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Portal 2, Super Mario World, and number 1, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. What? No, just kidding. So out of the top 10, I think I got a whopping 2. Disco Elysium, Nolan has recommended. I don't know if I'll like this game, to be honest. Half-Life 2, nope, talked about it. Red Dead 2, nope, talked about it. Super Mario 64, ooh, I streamed it once. I'm going to say no, I didn't get super far. Yeah, I know a lot of people love that game too. Have it on the Switch. Haven't played it on the Switch. Oopsie. Mass Effect 2. Your boy didn't like Mass Effect 1, so he doesn't really want to give Mass Effect 2 a chance. The story looked fun. Thanks, Jeff, for streaming it, but I don't know. I don't want to go talk to everybody and I don't know. I know Mass Effect 2 is great. Mass Effect 3 is controversial. I don't know. Like I talked about, Metroid, I haven't played a Samus game. Zelda, I've only played one. And that was the one on the Switch that they remade, and it was all cute. I don't remember. Boop, ba-doop, boop, 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 boop. But that one was fun. Portal 2, Chef's Kiss. Great. Built on what Portal 1 did. Made a way more interesting story, or at least added on to it. Made it more high stakes. Added some mechanics into the portals, surprisingly, to add more depth to it. Good stuff from Portal 2. Multiplayer was even fun too, kind of yelling at each other to figure out things. Super Mario World I talked about on Game Boy Advance. Put a lot of time into that game. Loved the different abilities with the cape power that was now added, and finding all these secrets and abilities, and learning, you can cheese the secret base number 1 or whatever it was to get 100 lives and just keep running through Yoshi egg, and keep getting that. So I had essentially infinite lives to keep trying that game over and over. Just good times. And then I have not played Breath of the Wild. I heard good things there. I know weapon degradation and like things breaking isn't great. I would say that's everybody's biggest gripe about it. But I do remember watching Nolan once again play that, and seemed cool, but I have not played it. So, out of the top 100 from IGN's list, that's a voice from the great beyond. How many have I played? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 38 out of these 100 I have played. Not too shabby. So maybe my gaming gap isn't as big as I thought. At least from this list. Maybe there's another list where it's like, The Legend of Zelda this one, and then Metroid and Punch-Out, and all these other PlayStation 1 classics and stuff. Yeah, some big omissions. I mean, they did say what is fun to play now and how was launched. Like, there was no Spyro, there was no Crash, no Fallout 3 or 4, like Papa Griff's mentioning in chat. Like, there's some bigger hitters there that I'm surprised aren't there. I guess even for modern games, some surprising ones, but at least from that list, 38 out of 100, not too bad. Maybe we'll have to revisit this topic someday. Maybe take somebody else's list or see what else, other criteria people have kind of involved for themselves, I guess, for their list making. But that was fun. Thanks for going on this journey with me for games in the past and what I've played. This has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You join the chat if you're a subscriber. Like Papa Griff did today, join on the conversation, all the fun we're having over here. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week, where is put out topic by topic and put is one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, hashtag add merch store. Get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand, support us, and we love you for it. Appreciate you guys hanging out today, especially for all the video game talk. Cult of the Lamb, top 100. Was a good time. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you guys for giving this a watch, giving it a listen, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care.